is a different sizes of maggots crawling inside and outside of her. Osita, who has never sucked her wife's VV before, out of frustration, closed his nose against the smell and start licking it.
Oh my dear, you are doing it right. Come on, that's good. You're a pastor, but you're a bad boy.
As Osita climbed the pulpit, something horrifying happened. His head transformed into a giant snake. Although he was not aware of it, the congregation screamed in terror and fled the church. When he stepped down, his head returned to its normal self. Once upon a time, in the beautiful city where the sun kissed the earth and where people with a good heart dwell, there lived a man called Osita. Osita was a humble wheelbarrow pusher in the bustling market of Umudo community. He was well known in the market for carrying loads for the market women with his wheelbarrow. Every day, he would step out of his house, leopard under the harsh sun, carrying heavy loads for the market women to earn enough money to feed his family. Despite his struggles, Osita was contented with his life. He hustled every day just for his beautiful wife, Ebere, and their 3 kids. Ebere was a devoted Christian, kind, and deeply rooted in her faith. She is selling fruits in the market under the umbrella. Although life was tough for them, but their love and unity as a family kept them going. Osita was also a junior pastor at their church, led by a powerful man of God named Daddy Gio. He admired the way Daddy Gio prayed, preached, and performed miracles, which left the congregations in shock. Osita often dreamt of owning his own church someday, performing miracles and reaping the reward that came with leading a large congregation. For 5 years, Osita and his family faithfully served Daddy Gio's church, dedicating their time and resources. But as time passed, Osita grew tired of everything. He felt overlooked and unappreciated. Despite his loyalty and struggles, yet Daddy Gio never offered him a financial support to start his own ministry or share the secret of performing all these miracles. Gossips began to circulate among the congregations that Osita was jealous of Daddy Gio. But Ebere, his wife, dismissed these rumors, praying seriously for her husband to stay grounded in faith. And she also pleaded with Osita, saying,
"My husband, calm down. I believe one day everything will be fine. Remember that God's time is the best."
Osita smiled and hugged his wife for her advice, but within him, Osita needs to do anything just to be like Daddy Gio of their church. One fateful day, Osita's frustration led him to a desperate decision. During a church service, Osita sneaked inside the office and steal a large sum of money from church treasury box, and he ran away. The following day, he and his family stopped attending the church, claiming they had found a new church elsewhere. Nobody suspected Osita was behind the theft, and Osita's wife was confused and didn't understand why her husband stopped them from attending the church they have known for years. But as the wife which she is, she remained calm. With the stolen money, Osita rented a small space and opened his own church. He named it the Glorious Light Ministry. However, his dream quickly turned into a nightmare. For 4 months, not a single soul attended his services, and decided to preach in the street in order to draw more people to his church. Yet, no one was listening to his preachings, nor give offerings. He became frustrated. His family began to suffer. No money for food, no money for school fees, no hope anywhere. And their landlord is threatening to throw them out of his house for not paying their rent. One day, as Osita was wandering the streets, worried and confused, he bumped into Pastor Mike, a close friend of Daddy G.O. Pastor Mike, a man known for his wealth and influence. He owned the largest churches all over the cities. He greeted Osita warmly and asked him about his new church. Osita was silent for a moment before speaking out how the church is frustrating him. And Pastor Mike laughed at Osita.
Why you dey dull yourself now? In fact, come to my house tomorrow,
he said.
I will show you what you need to succeed.
The next day, Osita went to Pastor Mike's house, and they drove off to a luxurious mansion made entirely of black glasses. They went inside the house, sit down. Not a while, a fearful dwarf woman called Egoa came out. Pastor Mike greeted Egoa in unsettling handshake sign. Osita became scared within himself, but remained calm. Pastor Mike seemed at ease. Egoa listened as Pastor Mike explained Osita's struggle. Then she smiled.
I can give you everything you desire. Wealth, miracles, and a congregation. But a surprise. You must suck my sweet VV every day. If you miss a day, tragedy will follow you.
Desperation. Osita agreed. Osita followed Egoa inside her secret room. She undressed, spread her legs for Osita to get to work. Immediately, everywhere started smelling like a rotten rat. Osita sighted the VV. What he saw left him dumbfounded. In Egoa's VV is a different sizes of maggots crawling inside and outside of her. Osita, who has never sucked her wife's VV before, out of frustration, closed his nose against the smell and started licking it.
Oh my dear, you are doing it right. Come on, that's good. You're a pastor, but you're a bad boy. You know how to dig it well. Oh, baby boy.
When he got home that day, his wife and children started perceiving the unpleasant smell on Osita's body. And when a berry asked him, Osita lied that he fell inside a gutter on his way home. The next day, which is Sunday, Osita decided to open his church to see if Egoa's words will come to pass. But as he entered the church, to his astonishment, his church was overflowing with people. The chairs in the church was not even enough for some people to sit down. He performed a lot of miracles, healing the sick, making the blind to see, and even raising a child who was dead. Money poured in, and Osita was very happy. Him and his family lost to unimaginable wealth. They moved into a mansion, wore the finest clothes, and drove expensive cars. But Ebere was suspicious of her husband. She had known her husband for years and could not understand how he suddenly became a miracle worker. She prayed day and night, asking God to reveal the truth. Osita, meanwhile, became consumed by his newfound success. He visited Eguwa daily, sucking her smelling vivi, increasing his prosperity. And this continued for 3 whole years. One night, however, Osita and Pastor Mike went to a club to have fun as usual. They drank heavily and smoked, eventually slept off. In his drunken state, Osita forgot to visit Eguwa. The next morning, reached his church, and his church was packed with congregations, waiting for Osita to start preaching, and of course, perform miracles as usual. As Osita climbed the pulpit, something horrifying happened. His head transformed into a giant snake. Although he was not aware of it, the congregation screamed in terror and fled the church. When he stepped down, his head returned to its normal self, leaving him confused and shaking, while his church members ran away. Panicked, he rushed to Eguwa, who revealed the reason.
You broke our agreement, and this is your punishment. Remember, there is no remedy.
From that day on, Osita's life shattered into chaos. His congregation vanished, and his miracles ceased. Whenever he tried to preach, his head would turn into a snake, causing fear and panic. Ebere and the children, terrified of his condition, abandoned him and ran away to a faraway city. Osita sold off his properties to feed, but a year later, with no income for Osita to feed again, he returned to the market and started his pushing of wheelbarrow. But the market women avoided him. Whispers of his snake head spread like a wildfire, and nobody wants to give him work to do. One day, Osita disappeared. No one ever see him again. Some people say that he wandered into the forest, never to be seen again. Others claim that he was consumed by his own greed and met a tragic end. Ebere and her children moved on, finding peace in their faith and starting a new life. One day, out of love Ebere had for her husband, she traveled to Umudo community just to unite with her husband. But he was nowhere to be found. She asked the neighborhood, but no one seemed to know his whereabouts. Ebere was sad, and she returned back to her children in the city. The lesson of this story is that greed and dishonesty may bring temporary success, but they untimely lead to downfall and loss, while patience, faith, and integrity bring lasting peace and blessings. The end.